I like to somehow shimmy over to my mat every morning. It's my thing I do. So once we're here and we're going to keep our knees up and our feet down, we're going to go ahead and just lower down. So just come down any way that feels good for you as we start here. And so remember, as we go through everything, if something doesn't feel right for your body, if you need to modify something or change it, you always can. So when we're here, we're starting with our feet grounded here, and our feet are about hips width apart. Our knees are up. And usually when we start here, we have that space behind the back, and that's our neutral spine. So the curves of the spine are there. Take a moment to bring your hands to your ribs. Take a moment to draw your belly button down towards your spine, bringing your ribs in toward each other so you can actually feel that here. And then when you breathe, I want you to go ahead and draw your abs in a little bit tighter, but feel the breath moving through the ribs. Take a nice deep breath in and exhale out of the mouth, just letting that breath move through. And we're going to let our hands come down as we keep that breath. So keep that breath inhaling and exhaling out of the mouth, even drawing your abs in a little bit tighter. We're going to stay here, hands relax at the sides. We're going to start to take it a little bit into some pelvic tilting, but only enough to flatten the back to the mat. So when we come down here with the back, it's just a slight tilt of the pelvis. So you can see if I take my hands right to the bone here of my hip, I can kind of tilt upward a little bit and forward toward my body, and then I can release that. And when I tilt, it's going to just give me that nice imprint, so sinking my back down into the mat, drawing my abs in a little bit tighter, and then releasing. We're just going to do that 2 more times. So just feeling that extra contraction in your abs when you take that pelvic tilt. And then 1 more to hold it here. I want you to hold that. Draw your abs in tighter. And most of the time we can stay here where we can keep our back if this feels right for you or feels a little bit better, or you can keep that neutral spine. So, but here I just want you to feel the difference of keeping this and just lifting one leg into tabletop and then bringing that leg down and then other leg to tabletop. Now we're going to just take our both feet down and hands reach at our side, and then we're going to scoop the belly in, lift the head and shoulders here if that feels good. You can always keep your head and shoulders down. There's space between the chin and chest, holding here. Now still bring it back, right leg to tabletop, and then bring it down and left leg to tabletop, and hopefully you're keeping that same connection that we had before with our abs. So drawing the abs in a little bit tighter. We're going to go ahead and do 1 more each side. And then bring your hands behind your head, still holding at the top. Both legs are going to stay at tabletop here. I'm going to stay here. Now I'm going to bring the legs away a little bit. I'm going to start to lower my feet toward the mat. And then I'm going to lift back up, scoop the abs in, and bring it down a little bit. And exhale, draw it in, scoop your abs in tighter, come down and up. Good. Make sure that you keep breathing here. So it's breathing through the nose, exhaling out of the mouth. We're going to go ahead and finish off with our last 2. And then last 1 here. Good. And then from here, knees come in. We're going to lower down through the head and shoulders. Hug the knees in, and then we're going to come into our 100 here. So hands can press down into the floor. The legs set back up to tabletop. We're going to just lift the head and shoulders if that feels okay for you. Again, this can be done with your head and shoulders down. I'm going to elevate my arms, so I'm holding to hover with my arms. Legs can stay here, or they can extend and come to your working level, whatever feels right for you. We're going to start to pump the arms. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, squeeze your abs in deeper. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, we're halfway there. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. And exhale, abs in tighter. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's your last one. Inhale. And exhale out. go ahead and bend the knees in tight and lower head and shoulders down. So here we can get some extra movement and stretching here. So we're going to start with our single leg Pilates stretch, but I want you to start with just taking the right knee in and letting the left heel stay on the floor. Flex both your feet here, just to get a little bit of a deeper stretch. Now, draw your abs in. Again, this is where you can always lift your head and shoulders if you like, but you don't have to. I'm going to lift my left foot off the mat just to hover. So I'm still getting this great stretch here. And I'm going to point my toes. I'm going to go ahead and let my right hand come to my right ankle, left hand to my knee. I'm going to pull it in. And then here I'm going to stretch it out really long, come all the way down, arms overhead. Take the left knee into the chest. We'll add on everything here. We're just stretching, flexing through the feet. Head and shoulders can come up if that feels good. And then lifting the left foot so it's just slightly off the floor to hover. So then here's where right hand can come to the ankle. We can point the toes here. Other hand is to the knee. Good. Pull it in. And then stretch all the way down. We're going to go back to right side. Draw the right knee in. Keep the left leg up this time to hover. Draw in, pull, pull. And switch to the other side. So this time we're keeping head and shoulders up the entire time. We're pull. We get 2 pulls here. Pull in and release. And this gives us a little bit more movement here after we get a little bit more lengthening, which is what we're working on today. So not as much that we're just like hanging out. To stretch, everything is very active. We're drawing the abs in really tight here as we stay. We've got our last 4 and 3, 2 more. Last one, hands go behind the head, right knee comes back in. We're going to twist left elbow toward that right knee, really twist. And then bring it back here. Go to the other side, exhale to twist. Inhale to bring it center, exhale, twist. So the more that you draw your abs in and you get that turn through the waist, ribs, and chest. So we're moving actively there, not moving in the hips. So the hips are really staying stable. It's that rotation, big rotation over to the side. Nice. We're almost there. We have 4 more. Good. 3 and 2. Last one, and we're just going to bring it center, lower all the way down. So we're going to come into our double leg stretch here. If you like to keep your head and shoulders up, go ahead here. Both knees pull in. Then you're going to extend your arms if that feels good. You don't have to. Legs extend too. And then bring your arms around as you exhale. So inhale to lengthen everything. Exhale, draw it in. And notice when I'm bringing my arms, that doesn't change. I'm not coming down and up. I'm staying here. I'm able to reach my arms, keeping everything really long, and then drawing it back in. So inhale, lengthen. This can always be done here with your head and shoulders down, right? You never have to lift up. It's always up to you where you're going here. We're going to stay for our last 4. Good. 3 more. Last 2. And then last one here. And then draw it in. We're going to go ahead, let the head and shoulders stay down. Take the right knee, pull it back into the chest. We're getting a little bit more length of the legs, and we're going to stretch that right leg. See where that right leg goes here, if we can keep it really stretched and straight. And then let's switch here. So take the left leg up here. We're going to just lengthen it all the way up. See if you can get that length here so we're not just holding that leg to hover. Engage the quadricep. And then take it down. Arms reach overhead. We're going to draw the knees back in. So we're going to keep the feet about hips width apart. Hands down at your sides. You're going to go ahead and draw your abs in a little bit tighter here. And I want you to engage that little pelvic tilt. We're going to come into a bridge here. So as we start to lift the hips, we're going to just lift up. See where we get here, where we're getting to the shoulders, coming in a straight line up toward the hips, and then up from there to the knees. Draw your abs in a little bit tighter here. And then we're going to go ahead and lower down through the spine. Walk your feet together now. So hug your knees and feet and ankles, everything drawn in really tight. Hands are going to stay here, and we're going to lift up into our bridge. So abs are in tight. We're squeezing in here, scooping our abs in a little bit more, and then lower down here. Good. Now arms are going to reach up to the ceiling. We're going to keep the feet where they are, and you can always keep your hands down if you like that. We're going to lift up into our bridge, hold up at the top here, squeeze. See if you can squeeze a little bit more. Knees together. Good. Squeeze here. Lower down about halfway, and then come up and squeeze. And then lower down about halfway, and come up and squeeze. Scoop your abs a little bit tighter. So see if you can just pull your belly button down toward your spine while you're here. Keeping the ribs connected here too. We're going to stay for our last 4. Good. And 3 more. Last 2. And then last one we're going to hold here at the top again. Hold at the top. Hold it here. Good. Kind of squeeze your thighs toward each other again. Squeeze a little bit tighter. Lift a little bit higher. And then go ahead and lower down through the spine. Take as much time as you need to get there. We're going to take the legs to stretch long and straight. Arms are going to stretch overhead as you exhale. And this is where you can roll all the way up if you like. If you don't like a roll up, then you can just bend your knees and come up. We're going to roll up. We're going to scoop our abs in. We're going to come up. Keep the feet down. Scoop your abs in a little bit tighter so you can roll over the legs. And then from there, we're going to come up nice and tall. Good. And this is where, again, we're going to flex the feet. So we're going to get a little bit more of that stretch and that lengthening in the legs. So holding here, feet are together now. In this, we want the thighs to move inward. So kind of our inner thighs to move down toward the mat. Reach the arms up to the ceiling, the shoulders down. Exhale as you reach towards your feet. So in this is I'm lengthening, I'm reaching here, and it's the start of our class today, right? It's the start of our day, really, sometimes. So we want to be able to get a little bit deeper without hunching forward in this. So I know sometimes it's really hard because of the tightness in my hamstrings. I start to run around. We're going to go ahead and come up. We're going to move the feet to one side. We're going to come into our planks. So first we're going to start with our hands under our shoulders. When we're here to start, it's really just fingers spread wide, hands under shoulders, knees underneath hips. So when I'm here and I'm holding my knees down, I'm going to scoop my abs up and in. So I'm already pulling my belly up. So I'm maintaining a nice long line through the crown of my head. And I don't want to lose that by coming down here, right? So I'm staying really long. Arms don't want to buckle. They don't want to be here. So rotate your arms back. So you get those elbows back. Tuck the toes in. Lift your knees just like an inch off the mat to hover. And then maybe another inch. So we're pretty low, right? Lengthen through the crown of the head, holding here. Good. Now, as we hold here, we're just going to do little dips of the knees down and then lift back up. And let the knees come down and lift the knees back up. So little dips down of the knees and lifting back up. Our abs are in tight. We're still lengthening through the crown of the head so we don't lose that posture. And we're staying here for 4, last 3, 2 more, and then last one here. Now we're going to go ahead, lower the knees down, come into a child's pose, feet together, knees apart, sit way back on the heels, and stretch your arms to straight. This, of course, is getting us ready for our more stretching, right? So we're here, we're going to come into our full plank. Hands are going to come underneath the shoulders again. As we come into this, your option here, you can walk the feet all the way back. If you need to come to your knees, you always can, okay? Always too, your option is to come down to the forearms if this bothers the wrists. So when you're holding here, scoop your abs in, lengthen through the crown of the head. Look forward but down. Hold here. See if you can engage and lift your thighs. That means I didn't lift moving them up, right? I just lifted by engaging. Same thing if I add that lift of the abs a little bit more. Now on your exhale, lift the tailbone and stretch back into a down dog or a little pike back here. Now you can widen the space between the feet to get a deeper stretch. Space between the fingers, space between the toes. Lift your tailbone higher and stretch back. Now inhale, we're going to lengthen forward into our plank. So we're going to keep that length. Exhale, we're going to draw it back, lift the tailbone, and bring it back into your down dog. So it's kind of like that piking of the hips, and then we're gonna bring it back. But I like to call that a stretch. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, lift your hips and stretch back, but we're working here. Good. Inhale, lengthen to plank. Exhale, bring it back. We're gonna do 2 more. Inhale, plank, and exhale, down dog. Here's your last one. Bring it plank, and then we're gonna come into our down dog. Holding that down dog, feeling that stretch back here. Stay for another breath, and then from here, let the knees come down. Good, so we're gonna go down to our right side. When you come down, you'll still be able to face me here. You're gonna start coming all the way down to your side position, so our side lying Pilates work. When we come down here to the side, I want you to come down either to where your forearm is, or the top of your arm here is rested down, and you can keep your hand reaching to your head, or you can slide all the way down. It's up to you. Whatever you like. Sometimes when I'm here, so I can see people, even though I know I can't, but I like to be up. We're gonna take our hips back a little bit so our knees can come forward in this. My hand is gonna come in front if I need that support, especially because the priority of this is not rocking. I'm gonna lift my knee up here, so I'm gonna do a little clamshell, keeping my feet together, and then bring it down. Exhale, lift. So if I can stay really stable, I'm gonna take my other hand behind my head too, so that I can keep this going here without hunching, without rocking, without letting my back turn or my shoulders or hips turn. That's usually what will turn first. So if you need ever help here, the hand comes in front. If you don't need it, that's where the hand can stay here. We're gonna do our last 4 like this. Good, last 3. So think of this as more the control from your transverse abdominals that wrap around your back, keeping you steady so you don't move. When we do our next one here, I want you to lift the knee, then bring that knee down. Now your entire leg here, knee, foot, everything lifts and comes down. This is not a high lift, it's about to hip level and then down. But hopefully you're already feeling this work in the outer thigh and hip, right? And we're still drawing our abs and really working here. So we're lifting and lowering, good. And lift, keep the control of this. We stay for 5 more, good. 4 more, last 3, keeping that control, good. 2, and then 1 here. We're going to hold that leg up just about to that hip height. Now this is where we're going to turn the foot down toward the other foot, and then we're going to turn the knee down and the foot comes up. So we're just moving the leg, still keeping the same way here, but I'm tilting knee down or I'm tilting my foot down. So I'm actually keeping my leg, I'm not moving my foot, I'm not moving my knee joint, right? I'm not turning anything, but I'm able to get my foot down or my knee down, working there. So abs in, really squeezing them in so that we don't rock or move out of this. We're gonna stay for 4 of each. 3, 2 more. I already feel like, how do we feel this already? Last one. Tilt the knee up, hold the knee upward. So the knee is gonna stay up. Now from here, we're gonna lengthen that leg up toward the ceiling and then bend the knee back in. So I'm gonna work a little bit more front of the thigh, engage, lift and lengthen and bring it down. Keeping my knee upward as much as my knee is turning up, right? Any amount here. And then I'm bringing it down to bend and I'm straightening it out. So working here, I know a lot is happening. You're probably like, in the back of the leg, my glutes are working, firing up everything there, right? We're gonna stay for 4 more. Good, last 3. And we're lengthening at the same time and stretching. 2 and 1. I know you're like, it's mean what you consider stretching. Knee comes down. Good, now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna prep ourselves up. So when we come up for this, we're gonna come into a side plank prep. So we're gonna start with the knee down. So we want to have the right knee down, and the right hand is going to be a foot away from that knee. My hand is going to turn away from me to the side. My other leg is going to open, which should feel good after we were working there, right? Really lengthen here. Good. Now, I am going to take it into a little bit more stretching. So what I want you to do is turn your left foot outward a little bit more. So notice I'm turning from the toes. I'm going to use my core, and I'm going to lift up and balance here, scooping my abs in. I'm going to reach out to the left, so really reaching here. And when I come down, I'm going to bring my hand down, and I'm going to take my other arm up over the ear. So this is where I'm going to stay, scooping my abs in, really coming down a little bit more. Stay for another breath. We're going to change this into movement, so I want you to come down here. So hand comes down. We're going to lift the leg up, and then we're going to use our abs to come up and back down. So we're flowing through this. We're going to come down, lift the leg. We're going to come down with the foot, lift the arms. Good. So try to use your abs so you can get that balance here. So in balance, lift. I'm going to balance to lift up again and come down. Good. One more time. I'm going to come down, lift the leg. I'm going to come up, big stretch. Then down, lift the leg, hold it down. Flex the foot, little pulses, little tiny pulses. Good. I know we're still working the leg. Stay for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then go ahead from here, foot comes down, we lift up, we reach out to the right, and then we come down. Right hand down, left arm up, then try to bring it over the ear as much as you can. Over, over, over to big stretch here. And then go ahead and come back up. When we come up, we're going to go ahead and set up for our full side plank. You can still do it this way on the knee. Otherwise, your hand comes down. Your top arm is up here. When I plant the feet, I like to stay here and take my knee, that knee that's down, and cross that foot behind the other leg. So that way my top foot's in front. If you want to make this harder, you're going to stack the feet. Scoop your belly button to spine, lift your hips higher. Good. So now from here, I do want you to cross that top foot over, and we're going to bend the knees, kind of stretch back away here, and then press back. Good. Now if you're on the knees already, you can always kind of bend a little bit in that other leg, and then reach out, whatever's working for you here. So abs in tight, bend and stretch. We're going to do our last 4. Good. 3 more. Last 2. And then last one from here. Coming down, pushing back up. Knee comes down. And then one last time for that stretch. Turn that other foot out. Reach, 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 and lengthen. And come down. Stretch up and over that side. Really nice and long. And then let's come up. We're going to go to the other side for our sideline work. So take your knee in. We're going to come down here. Now, when we come down, again, we're going to keep the knees bent. Your option, whether you want to come down to a straight arm here or prop your head up. I'm going to keep my hips back slightly, knees in front. Hand can stay in front while I start here. Feet and knees together, but I'm working the knee up and down, right? Up just the knee. So keeping the feet together. As I exhale, scoop abs in a little bit tighter to get that knee to lift, okay? This is where top hand, if you like it behind the head, you can keep it there as we work. We're hopefully feeling something working already. All right, so we have our last 5 on this side. 4 more. It moves pretty quickly, luckily. 3. Last 2. And then last one here. Now that knee comes down, the foot stays down, the whole leg comes up and then down. Okay, so the whole leg lifts up and comes down. So we're working here. You're going to feel all through that outer thigh and hip as we come up. Now you want to be able to contract your abs to control yourself here, not allow that movement or rocking. So keeping everything really steady. For 5 more here. Good. 4, Last 3. 2 more. Now we're going to hold that leg up. It's about at hip height. I'm going to tilt the knee down to meet the other knee, and then I'm going to tilt the foot down to meet the foot. So I'm going to go knee to knee, foot to foot, right? And I'm just tilting. I'm keeping my leg the same. I'm not trying to move that leg or jar it around. I'm trying to be really steady as I come down and back up. If this isn't working for you with your hand behind your head or hand over the head if you're all the way down, then make sure that you prop your hand in front. Okay, so we're just moving through this, getting our last 4 of each. This is where I always start to feel it right away. 3, especially second side, right? It's that standing leg syndrome. Good, last one, because it was already working. It was already working. Good, hold it up there, hold that knee up, hold it up. Now we're gonna extend the leg and come down, yeah. So this leg it burns faster than the other leg, or the first side that we did, because this stabilizer leg is working by holding us here in place. It is stabilizing. Anytime we stabilize and use our armpits to knees, right? That's our core. That's a lot of space working here. Make sure that knee stays tilted upward. You're getting that lengthening here to stretch that leg straight and then bring it down, right? Yeah, we're stretching. We're going to stay here for 5. Good. Last 4. Here's your last 3. 2 more. And then last one here. Good. And then go ahead and lower down here. Now we're going to set up to do our plank, our side plank prep here. So when we come up, it's really just starting with our knee down. So left knee can be down here, left hand about a foot away. And then you're going to extend your other leg out. So when I'm here and I'm holding, my abs are in really tight and I'm staying in this position. Top arm is up. And I'm going to start to turn my toes outward a little bit more of this lengthened leg here. So when I come up, I'm going to come up all the way up, turn the toes out, come down to that side, reaching up and over the ear. And then we're going to go ahead and come back down here. So hand comes down and my foot comes up. And then I'm going to go back, stretching here to the side. And then I'm going to do that a few more times, just being able to move through this, right? Getting a little bit more work in my core by moving. I'm stabilizing and pulling my abs in, so I'm not rocking anything. I'm staying side. We're going to come down one more time for this. Back up, nice stretch. And then come down, hold it down. And we're going to lift that leg up and just flex the foot. Little tiny lifts up and up and up. Abs tighter. So we're working here. We're going to get a few more in and then we're going to get into our last stretch. So 5, not last of today, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to put the foot down, rise up, turn the toes to the side, reach out and come down, top arm over the ear. Really long, long stretch. Lengthen a little bit more, see if you can get into that, and then come all the way up. So full side plank now. We can put the hand about a foot away from the knee again to stay here. Top arm is up. So in this one, taking that knee off the mat, if that feels okay, you're going to cross the foot behind the other foot. If that is not working for you, stay with your knee down. If you want to make it harder, stack the feet. Scoop your abs in, hips higher. But now we are going to take that top foot, cross it back. We're going to bend the knees to stretch away and then press back. Right? We're going to come into that again. Bend the knees and press away. Now if you're still here with the knee down, I'm going to kind of move into my other leg. I can still stay like that, right? So abs in tight, belly button to spine. 4 more. Nice. 3 more. We have our last 2. Good. And last 1. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and let the knee come down. We're going to turn forward. So in this here, we're going to come into our child's pose to start here. Feet together, knees apart. We're going to get a little bit more of our stretching to happen. Arms are in front, hands about shoulder width apart. I'm going to rock forward to my hands tuck the toes in behind the knees, and stretch into our down dog. So as we stay here, take a big breath in, lift your right leg up. So right leg is going to come up. I'm going to flex the foot. Now in this, it doesn't matter how high we're working, because what I want to focus on is kind of piking the hips, but working into a glute lift. So I'm going to have you lift your right leg up a little and bring it down a little. Right leg up a little and down a little. So notice here where I'm working, I'm trying to keep my hips level. I'm not moving anything else. If this is too much on the hands, you can always lower it down to the forearms. You still can pike up the hips that way and keep this leg lift. So we're going to stay here, finishing off this side, hopefully feeling it in our glutes already. 5 more. 4, 3, 2 more. Hold the leg up, and now we're going to take the knee, the right knee is going to come into the right elbow, and we're going to plank it forward. So big plank, pull that knee in, and then pike it back up, right leg comes up. Now we're going to take it back to that plank with that right knee into that elbow, pull it in really tight, and pike up and stretch the hips. And we're going to do that one more time. Knee in, pike it back up. Now, big step to stretch here. I want you to step your right foot forward to the hand. Now, if my foot doesn't get there, I'm just going to help it. Right? So I'm here. I want my knee in line with my ankle. My back leg is straight as much as I can be. I'm pressing my back heel toward the back of the room, and I'm feeling a stretch in my hip. So we really worked there. This should feel pretty good to hold. So what we're going to do is stay for just another breath, just like this. If you want to add a little bit more balance, you always can by taking the hands to the thigh and lifting the chest a little bit more. But that doesn't have to be our priority. We want to be able to stretch and open the hips. So let's go back to our down dog. So right foot is going to step back. You're going to get into the down dog. And then both knees come down. Child's pose here. Feet together, knees apart, sitting way back on the heels. So we're getting this in between our sides. We're going to go back to that, pike up with the hips, and our glute lift. So we're going to rock forward to the hands, tuck the toes in, lift the knees. If you want to come down to the forearms, you can come down. You'll be like this, right? You're still piking up the hips. It doesn't matter, right? Do what feels right for you. Now, you're going to lift your left leg. Keep the hips really level. Abs are in tight. Flex that foot. We're going to do a lift a little higher, lower a little, lift a little, lower a little. I'm going to keep right leg really straight. Lift. Working in the back of the leg. Abs are really engaged. Okay, I'm just getting that little lift here. Lift. We get to do this for our last 5, 4 more, 3, 2, hold the leg up, take the left knee to the left elbow, hug it into your plank, hug it in, pull it forward, pull that knee to the elbow, hold, and then bring it back up. Lengthen that leg up, hips stay level. We're going to take it back in. Knee to elbow, plank, 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 plank. Pike the hips up, left leg comes up. Last time, we're going to plank it forward. Pull that knee in. Pull that leg up really high. Exhale, big step forward. If it doesn't quite make it forward, we pull it forward, okay? So knee in line with the ankle. We're stretching here, hands down, lengthen through the crown of the head. My back leg is long. And here, if I want to add a little bit more of that stretch too, because you're going to feel where we were just working, you can come up, stretch open, shoulders come back. Good. One more breath. Hands come down. Big step back to down dog with that left leg. Breathing here. And then exhale, knees are going to come down, feet together, knees apart, back into our child's pose. Now we're gonna come all the way forward, and we're gonna come down here to our belly. So you're gonna come down here. You're gonna set up with your hands stacked one on top of the other. And take your forehead down, and then press the tops of the feet down, and scoop your abs in and up off of the mat. You're gonna go ahead and lift the head and shoulders, keeping your hands against the forehead. My elbows are coming out to the side. I'm just hovering, and then coming back down. And do that again. Exhale, lift, and then come down. Exhale, scoop your abs in and lift, and come down. Good. We're going to do that 4 more times. Good. 3 more. Last 2. And then last one, hold up here. Hold up. And then while you're holding up here, take a moment, see if you can lift a little bit more. And then lower down here. And I want you to lift just your feet, just your legs. Lift your legs up and lower. Good. Lift the legs up and lower. Lift the legs. Abs are in really tight. Good. Now can you lift both up with your head and your feet? Lift and lower. And lift and lower. Draw your abs in tighter here. We're going to do our last 4. Last 3. 2 more. And then last one here. Hold it. Reach your arms back behind you. See if you can reach, lift higher. Lower everything, but hands are going to come underneath your shoulders. So I'm going to just stretch up a little bit here, just a tiny bit. Right, stretch up, look forward, and then tuck your toes in. This is where I want you to pike back up the hips. So see if you can press yourself up, pike up the hips, back into that down dog. So you might feel like, whoa, that was a lot of movement in my spine, right? We're not used to that. Now we're gonna go ahead, take the right leg back up to lift, and then right foot steps, big step forward. Good. So now you can step it even more forward. We're just stretching. That's all we're gonna do here. So we're gonna lengthen. And then we're going to lengthen the front leg. So can you lift your tailbone up a little bit, and can you try to stretch? Now this for me, my front leg is not having it this morning. It is not stretching anywhere that straight, right? But I'm still feeling a lot in my hamstring. So staying here for another breath, and then come back into your lunge. Now all we're going to do is step the left foot up to meet with the right, put the left foot down, and we're going to come up to standing. We're going to lift the right knee. Now, if you have anything you want to hold on to for balance to stretch, go ahead. We're just going to lift the knee up and stretch that knee, pulling it in. So kind of where we worked that stretching before. But now we're going to cross the right ankle over the left knee, flex the foot, right knee opens. We're going to squat down, all the way down. And that should feel like a nice stretch. From here, we're going to go ahead and release it when you're ready. So just release it. We're going to come from here, kind of reverse of what we did before. So I want you to lift your left knee up. Left knee lifts. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and just cross that right, or this is your left ankle, over your right knee. Flex the foot. We can squat down. Nice way to stretch here as we come into this, but this is where we're going to come back kind of in a different way here. I want you to take your foot down, okay, because we came up the other way. I want you to come all the way down with the hands and walk it back into your down dog stretch. So just so we can get back in the same way as we did before, I want you to lift your left leg up, step your left foot forward to your lunge. Get a big stretch on the left side here. So left leg lunge. I know this is how we stretch, right? By working. So active stretch, but now we're going to straighten, keep the back leg pretty straight, and stretch that front leg as straight as you can get it, right? Mine's still just not wanting to stretch. This is the best that's going to happen today, right? And that's okay, because I'm still feeling a hamstring stretch. So wherever you are, that's great if you can feel that. We're gonna come back down into that lunge. This is where we step right foot forward. Right foot comes forward, left foot comes up. Arms come up, lift it up. And then we're just gonna take that foot back down, other side to lift. And then take it down. Now from here, we're gonna separate the feet about hips width apart. We're gonna reach the arms up, inhale, and then exhale, come down, flat back. So flat back, my hands are only coming about to my shins. Okay, so they can come down all the way to the floor. So for me, I'm kind of shimmying down or walking down, seeing where I can get, but can I keep a long spine? So if I start to come down this way, it's not quite where I need to be, and it's not gonna make me come down any further. So feeling that nice stretch here. Now, hands can come back underneath the shoulders, and you can walk it back to your down dog one more time. So we're back in our down dog, breathing in here, and exhale. Knees come down, and we're gonna take the feet to one side so that we can sit back here. When we come back, we're gonna take the legs and extend them out. So legs are extended. I always like to come into a reverse tabletop from this position because I think it works really well. So your feet are about hips width, your feet are flexed. This is where we're gonna still be working a little bit more. So I want your hands next to your hips and your fingers to face your feet. So in this, my shoulders come back, my chest is up, shoulders stay down. I don't want them up here, else I'm gonna feel like I have no room for my arms. We're gonna go, my arms aren't long enough, right? But they are if we push down. So now we're gonna come up and we're gonna let our feet tip forward, pressing the feet down. Now lift the hips high. Take the shoulders back, pull the belly in, lift up as high as you can. So when we're working into this reverse tabletop, we're just working into scooping our abs in, keeping this. Now I want this to be a little bit more, and I know this is really hard to work with balance or movement, but just lifting a foot just a little bit off the floor and bring it down. And just one foot off and back down. So I'm still trying to keep my hips up, abs in, my head can be back. If that doesn't feel good for the head, chin is in, right, for the neck. So little lifts of the legs. My leg is not coming that high, but I can still keep my hips level. So abs are in, a little marching here. We're gonna keep this for our last 4, hips stay level, 3, 2 more, last 1, good, feet down, hips really high, shoulders back, and then from here, let's go ahead and start to move the hips behind us. So we're gonna stretch, get on those heels, push the feet or push the hips back, 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 then the hips can come down. And we'll stretch here one more time. So flexing the feet, arms will reach up, inhale, and then exhale, bring it back, reaching toward the toes, bringing it with that length as much as we have. And I can always let my hands come down to my ankles, wherever I'm reaching. Lengthen out. And then from here, we're gonna come all the way up. Right knee is gonna come into the chest. Flex the left foot. We're gonna cross the left arm, so we're gonna bring it across the right leg, right hand behind. So I'm turning away from you as I do this. You are twisting to your right. So when you're here, pull your belly in, lift your chest one more time, exhale, turn. A little bit deeper. So that twist through the waist, ribs, and chest. My chest is turning to the side wall. And then as you bring it back, counter twist. So just give a little push away from the inside of the leg. So that should feel really nice. I usually think it does to come into that. And then we're gonna come back to center. We're gonna switch sides. So before we switch sides, stay here for a moment and lift your left foot off to hover. So we work a little bit more in that quadricep, right? Holding there, chest is up. I always like any more work that I can add, right? Little lift, pulls that leg up and down. Why not, right? We can get a little bit more work here. We're gonna stay here. So this is where we work the whole front of the thigh. Keep the chest up. We're gonna stay for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Foot comes down. We're gonna extend the right leg. Left knee comes into the chest. I'm gonna wrap my right arm around my left leg. Other hand is behind me. Inhale to lift the chest. Exhale to pull the belly in and deepen that rotation. Keep your other foot flexed. Leg stays active as you work. And moving through this. So yeah, even though we're twisting, we're still staying active in everything we do. So the rotation now, counter stretch. The arm comes to the inside of the leg and the other hand comes back as we support to come into a rotation in that other direction. So that should feel good for the spine, getting full movement here. We're gonna come back to center. This is where I know we wanna release the leg, but we're not. We're gonna hold it here. We're gonna lift the right leg up. Hold it to hover. It's just hovering there, right? But we're really actively working because I'm stretching that leg by keeping the length of it, but I'm engaging the quadricep. It's a little pulse up and down of that leg. I'm not moving fast, though I'm keeping small controlled movements. So my abs are in tight, chest is staying up, and we're finishing off here. Good. We're gonna stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very nice. Put the feet down. Both feet can come down. Legs can come out to extension here. Reach the arms. And then here, we're gonna go ahead and just pull the belly in, kind of round to the legs. See how that feels as we draw in, keeping the arms parallel to the ground. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, tailbone comes, or kind of tilts forward, pelvic tilt, and we're gonna come up. So yeah, the tailbone kind of rounds or brings it forward so that you can pull the belly in, pelvic tilting, and then reaching back, lengthening through the crown of the head. We'll just do that a couple more times. And last one, hold here, hold, 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 and then come up. Lengthen one more time, inhale. Exhale, hands behind you, lift the chest one more time, looking up. Release your arms big, reach everybody. Exhale, thank you so much for coming.